Here we go, July 26, 2026. Excuse me for my long hiatus. It's been a month or so. I've been traveling around the world, doing things, having fun, getting sidetracked with other things, and my priorities have been missing as far as markets, but I'm back at it again. What I would like to discuss today, and I guess what we've seen over the last couple months is, ta-da! The peace deal with Iran. Or is it a peace deal? You know, I've observed Donald Trump and his presidency during his first tenure in office, and now I'm observing his pattern of who he is in this second term of office. And I'm finding out that his style of ruling or his style of leadership is one of a narcissist, one of love bombing and abuse. So trauma bonded. I've said this before. Trump has the markets trauma bonded. And I don't know if Trump is being directed by the central banking cartel into doing this, or this is just naturally who he is. I'm sure there's a lot of external influence within the Trump administration to do certain things around the globe, to create a ruckus. I mean, they got their guy in there. They selected him to be the ups and down yo-yo game type presidency, which fits his personality profile, which is what they do. They pick personality profiles that fits their agenda. So I can't really blame Trump entirely. I think the central banking cabal around the globe, which pretty much runs every government on earth, hand-selected Donald Trump to be the leader of the free world and to do what he does best, which is to abuse and love bomb the markets into submission, into a trauma bond. If anybody knows what narcissism is, this is what it is. So what we've seen is Donald Trump, just to quickly recap, bombed Iran. Even though he said he wouldn't start a war, he bombed Iran into oblivion and totally annihilated all their military. And then after the bombing campaign, he said Iran wanted a peace deal. They had some sort of peace deal arranged. It was on, off. But somehow a peace deal got arranged. Markets calmed down. Oil markets collapsed. And here we go. Gold corrected. Everything corrected. And here we go, like the great glove bomb abuser. We have him going back and forth with Iran. Still. Now, I think this is going to continue for the rest of his term in office. He got, just much like if you look at his first term, 2016 through 2020, it was the China trade deal. The China trade deal is going well. The China trade deal is going horribly. The China trade deal is going well, horribly. And then towards the end of his term, what happened? We had the cataclysmic event of the Chinese releasing a virus that went around the world and caused the global economies to close down. It was the grand finale for the Trump administration, 2020, 1.0. Likewise, I see this administration being the same identical carbon copy, but this is going to be even bigger, I think, because the stakes of the game have gotten bigger. So now we have a war, not just negotiating a trade deal going on with China. Now we have a full-blown war in the Middle East with the Straits of Hormuz closed, which transports, I don't know, they say 20% of the oil supply, global oil supply goes through the strait. So now we have a big, gigantic war with Iran. And then he comes and soothes the market. He love bombs the market with some sort of peace deal with Iran, which falls apart, whether by design or I believe it's by design. I mean, nothing is created in a vacuum here. So this is by design. I think that the Iranians and the U.S. or the governments of the world or the global central banking cartel, they're basically positioning everybody around, and they're pushing people to do this and pushing leaders to do that. So what we're going to have in a nutshell, without going too long-winded, which is what I'm doing, we're going to have love bomb abuse cycles for the rest of his term, followed by a cataclysmic event in the Middle East. I don't know when the guy got out. What was it, 2024 he got in there, Donald Trump? He's been in there for 2 years now. Has it been 2 years? Was he elected? He was elected in 24. He served 25. He's in 26 now. So he gets 27 and 28. So I would say 2028, Donald Trump is going to cause a gigantic, cataclysmic event in 2028. Probably 10 times bigger than COVID. It's going to be COVID 3.0. I mean, this is COVID 2.0, what's going on now, but COVID 3.0. And this is going to be really, really, really big. I think they're going to set the Middle East on fire entirely. And then there's going to be global oil shortages around the world. They could light up other stable companies where people are bombed. It could just be a full global war. I mean, we don't know. But I'm saying that because this is the past is prologue. I mean, this is what happened under his first administration. This is what happened under the second administration. And you can see the pattern recognition is what I'm telling you here. You can see it plain as day. I don't know why there's not a lot of analysts that actually see this. But to me, it's as clear as a bell that Donald Trump rules by narcissistic tendencies. He is love bombing and abusing the markets into submission. Now, we had a love bomb period where we had a peace deal with Iran, and the oil markets settled down a bit and went from about $110 a barrel down to $70 a barrel, a big drop in oil prices. And everything looked peachy keen out there. Everything looked great until now. Now we have another eruption. So my point is, I just want to quickly summarize everything. It's going to go up and down, the yo-yo game's continuing, all right? So we could have a peace deal with Iran this week, or we could have some more rhetoric of more bombing campaigns and more destruction and mayhem out there in the Middle East. You know, it looks like Ukraine's getting sucked into this situation out there too, and Russia's supporting Iran, and Iran's supporting Russia, and the Ukrainians just bombed Iran. I mean, it's just escalating over there. And I think, and there's been suspicion that the Chinese and the Russians are supporting Iran. So this is going to turn into a bigger event towards the end of Trump's term. But in the meantime, it's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So how do we play this? Well, I am in a long position in a gold company, call options. I bought a bunch of them last week because I think gold has come down far enough. I think it's 20 to 25% off the high. It's corrected quite a bit. It's been languishing for the last couple months around in this correction territory. It's come off 20%. That's a great dude. That's very good that it's come off 20%. And it kind of went sideways for a little bit, but I feel that it's going to break out higher now. It went up to like, I don't know what the high was, like $5,400. Then it went all the way down to $3,900. And now I think it's going to rocket back up to 45, 46, 47. And it might even blow past the all-time highs. I don't know. But I know it's going to go back much higher in the near term. Same goes for copper. Same goes for oil and gas. I mean, oil and gas is going to be volatile. It's going to be based on headlines that's coming out of Iran. So if the Iranian situation looks bad, oil's going to go up. If the Iranian situation is possibly in the process of negotiating peace deal, it's going to go down. Oil's going to be extremely volatile. I'm not playing oil right now. I have a lot of oil stocks, stable oil stocks, but I'm not playing the speculative option game with oil and gas because who the heck knows what's going to happen with oil and gas. I do know, however, that gold has come down for quite a bit. It's rested. It's covered 20%, and it's going to resume much higher. So I took a long position with call options dated out about a year in a prominent gold company, and I think that's going to pay off big. Another thing I have some long positions in a copper stock, okay, BHP. Call options as well, because I think copper is going to go up high and sustain in the high area for a while too. And BHP could take off and hit $100 a share, which is what I think in the next couple months. barring that the global economy stays together. Now, the central banking community is doing all they can do to keep the global economy going. And all the rhetoric out of DC and all around the nations of the world, they're keeping these global stock markets elevated. They're printing trillions of currency units to elevate these stock markets, because if the stock market goes down, the whole economy goes down, and then we're in the greatest depression that we'll ever see in probably the next 200-300 years. I don't know. I'm just speculating on that one. I might be pulling a bullshit out of my hat here. But anyway, so I think they're really rigging these stock markets with everything they have, all the firepower they have. That's why you see inflation kind of going up higher. You see prices of everything going higher, because they're trying to manage the stock market. So I did have a short on the stock market that I've been shorting for the last 10 years, and I got out of the short position because I've lost a lot of money on those short positions on the S&P. You know, I'm probably even on all those positions, because I did have a couple short positions when COVID hit, and I made really good money during the COVID crisis on the S&P crashing, 20, 25, 30%, whenever it went down. And I did well on that. So all my losses over the last 10 years in short the stock market was totally ameliorated by the COVID crisis. So, and then I continued to buy short positions in the stock market, but to me, I kind of just, I thought they were going to lose control of this thing, but they're doing everything they can do to keep the stock markets elevated. Now, that's not to say I'd never get back into the short position in the stock market. I'm not saying I won't ever do that again. I'm just saying at this point in time, they are really, really trying to keep these markets elevated. So the markets will continue to be elevated with volatile swings in commodity markets due to the Iranian war and Trump's rhetoric. So I think gold is going to go higher. It's corrected. It's rested. It's like we took the turkey out of the oven and we rested it for a bit, and gold consolidated, and now it's ready to go higher. I believe if it's not this moment, it's getting really close to resuming its march higher. Primarily due to the instability in the global markets, and all this volatility that's going on, and the writing's on the wall as far as the inflationary environment. I mean, prices are going up. Prices are going to continue to rise. This is never going to end until they destroy the global economy or they destroy the fiat monetary system, which will occur. So gold's going to resume higher. Copper, which is a base metal, an industrial metal, is going to go a little higher. Could do some spikes into the $7 range, but we're going to see that happen. And I took 2 positions, and I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it, barring the global economy doesn't crash and I lose my money in these positions. So that's what I'm doing with my money. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, it's basically the same thing I've been saying for the last, there really not much has happened in the last 2 months, other than the fact that, Trump tried to negotiate a peace deal, a false peace deal, and they're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They're managing everything. At some point, oil, I previously mentioned I'm not really speculating in oil, but oil could take off. They might lose control of that one too. They're trying all they could do. They have a lot of power, these central bankers. They have a lot of power over the market, so I think they're going to manage oil. But at some point, it's going to get away from them. So that's another one to look at too. Oil. I wouldn't take volatile option positions in oil right now, but I would take some long positions in stocks within the oil industry right now. I think it's a good time to buy stocks within the oil industry. It's a great place to be. I do have a lot of oil, so I'm not really concerned about it right now. But I'm back in the gold bull market. I'm back in. I think we're going to do really well. So with that said, more of the same. Not much has changed in 2 months. Volatility, love bomb, abuse out of Donald Trump. This Iranian thing is going to be love bomb, abuse cycle for the remainder of his term. Then we're going to have a cataclysmic event during his last year that's probably going to be unlike anything has ever been seen in a long time, maybe since 1939. This is going to be big when it happens, 1940, 1941, and the year of 2028, somewhere around there. So with that said, all that negativity. With that said, we're going to do really well. We're going to do really well. Hang in there, know what's happening, and plan accordingly, and do good things for good people. With that said, I'm out.